Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Jack Massey. Jack, first and foremost, mate, how's things?
Yeah, going great, mate. You know, not long till Friday now, so all good. All the hard work's done, and ready for the big night. Thanks for having me on, by the way, as well, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. Listen, let's talk about Friday night then. Tough fight for yourself against Bilal Laggoune. I hope I said his name correct.
I think it's Laggoune.
Laggoune.
Yeah.
Laggoune. Whatever. Well, not whatever. But
been pronounced a few different ones.
Jack Massey is easy for me to pronounce, so that's the main thing. Yeah, talking about this fight, we seen in his last fight, he was in a close fight with Tommy McCarthy for that European title. This one's for the vacant IBF as well. Is it IBF? Is it IBO? Is it IBO World title?
IBO World title.
Yeah, so talking about this, I mean, he's a tough opponent, your biggest test today, bar maybe Richard Riakporhe. So your thoughts on the fight itself?
Yeah, you know, he's a good fighter. You know, like you said, he went the distance with McCarthy. You know, it was a close fight, and apparently, so he said at the press conference, he only had 3 to 4 weeks notice on that fight. So, you know, he looked fit in that fight. He went the full 12 rounds. So, you know, he's had a full camp for this one, and he's probably going to be in better shape and a lot fitter. So he's young, he's fresh, and he's coming for the win.
Yeah, he definitely comes. When I look at the cruiserweight division right now, when I look at yourself, Riakporhe, Billam Smith, McCarthy, you have all sort of fought each other. McCarthy and Billam Smith, Riakporhe, you and Riakporhe, they're all close fights. They're all very, very. You're all at the same level. It's probably safe to say, and anyone can win on your given day. So you against Bilal, man. Are you going to go out there and try and make a statement in this fight to maybe go in there and get the knockout and look impressive?
Yeah, we won't look for anything. You know, I'm ready for this fight. You know, I've trained really hard for it. It's been my toughest camp so far. So if the stoppage comes, then it comes. But we're not going to go out looking, you know, throwing daft silly shots, leaving myself open and stuff like that. We're going to stick to the game plan and get the job done. But if the stoppage is there, there's no doubt I'm going to take it. But like you say, you know, there's some good fights, domestic fights out there. You know, we could possibly make on British soil, you know, in the future.
The IBO World title, man. I watched Maxie Hughes win it, and I'm happy for him to win IBO. People maybe look down on it that it's not a world title, but for a fighter coming through, it means a lot because it is sort of like a bargaining tool to get these bigger fights and stuff like that. So what does IBO World title mean for you?
No, it means the world. It's at the end of the day, it's a world title. You know, you won't get the likes of Lennox Lewis, Tyson Fury, Klitschko, Golovkin, Anthony Joshua, and you know Usyk holding the belts if it wasn't, you know, a credible title. So, you know, it says it on the belt. So, you know, it's like you say, it's a great bargaining chip to get me into, you know, other fights, maybe possibly bigger fights. So, you know, it's a great title to have.
Talking about these bigger fights, like I said to you, man, like you, Riakporhe, Billam Smith, Tommy McCarthy, Michael Wow. I mean, he hasn't fought any of you yet, but like I said to you, you all sort of fought each other, and they've all been close fights, majority decisions, 2 points in it here and there. You're all at the same level. Could we see the 4 of you, possibly 5 of you, if you include Michael, fight for these world titles and stuff like that, bigger stage headliners and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think with the way it's going, you know, British boxing in the cruiserweight division, it's probably in the top 20 with the lads what you mentioned, and to make all those fights, and you know, obviously, the winner of it is the best out of the bunch. Then it'll be great to see. You know, I'm up for it. You know, I've asked for some of the fights. Some of them didn't want it in the past, but you know, get this belt under my wing, and then they might want it. But go from there, see where it goes.
Obviously, I missed it. Sorry, on you going. No, finish what you were going to say. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I'm definitely up for it. So you know, the Billam Smith fight's there. You know, he's got titles to his name. Mm-hmm. Even the Lawrence Nicoli fight. You know, I was supposed to fight Lawrence Nicoli for the British title a few years back, and had to pull out of a ruptured bicep. But you know, fights like that, it'll be good to make.
Well, that's what I was going to mention, Lawrence Okolie, because he is the world champion in that division in the cruiserweight, and he is British. So you being that IBO world champion, we know that Lawrence Okolie is trying to get these bigger fights and stuff like that, which hasn't quite come up yet with the Bradyses and stuff like that. But I mean, no, Makabu's fighting Canelo now, so that he's out of the question. But Lawrence Okolie, that IBO world title, that could be that makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it, in the future?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. You know, he's got the world title as well, so it makes sense. It's a fight what I'd want, and it's got to make him a good fight. And obviously, he was supposed to fight in the past, like I said. So it makes sense.
The cruiserweight division is always, sometimes you might look at it and think that it's a quiet division. It's probably safe to say in the past.
Yeah,
people would know about it.
I think with Canelo coming into it, I think it'll bring a bit of, bring the eyes on it now. Because it is booming. It is, you've got some, especially in Britain, like we've said, it is booming. You've got some good fighters there, but it just needs that little bit of recognition and just a few eyes on it to see what it's about. So obviously, with Canelo moving up to fight Makabu, it might bring, a lot of attention to cruiserweight division. It's an exciting weight. It's you've got the power of the heavyweights. You see a lot of knockouts in the cruiserweight division and the speed as well. So it's a good exciting division.
I do want to talk about Makabu and Canelo, but I want to just stick to you and this fight and stuff like that. Like the Riakporhe loss for you, I mean, it's obviously a tough one to take. I believe you got dropped in the 10th or 11th round.
That wasn't. Was it a knockdown? That I'm not having that.
But the thing is, with that knockdown in their quotes, let's say, it was a close fight on two of the judges. We got a majority draw, maybe if you stayed and won that round. Do you know what I mean? So the rematch with Riakporhe, would you take that now, or would you wait until it was more on the line in terms of your IBO world title, maybe even one of the other organizations on the line? Because he seems to be doing all the right things now, Riakporhe, and he seems to be on a path of his own. But would you entertain that rematch?
Yeah, we asked for the rematch after the fight. He didn't want to take it, but sorry, mate. But obviously, he's not got anything at the minute. Whereas, titles. So if he builds himself back up, collects a couple of nice belts, then definitely I'll be up for that 100%.
I know you're not going to look past your fight on Friday night and stuff like that. And you mentioned Billum Smith has got a few titles to his name. I know you're not looking past Friday, but what fight, if you had a promoter's hat, manager's hat on your head, what fight would you like to have after Friday night if all goes well?
Canelo.
Good answer. Good answer. Well, listen, you never know. That could happen.
Never know, mate. You never know.
But,
do you know what? There's always different routes. Whether we want to, go for another world title, whether we want to go and look at the British and the European. There's always different routes, but you have to get someone to take the fight first. So, it's one of those. We've asked for the Billum Smith fight. He didn't want it, but he might want it now. I've got something to my name, so we'll see what happens.
Talk about Canelo then. He might be a future opponent for you if you keep winning. If you grab that world title, but yeah, talk to me about him stepping up to cruiserweight, because I've been lucky enough to be at Canelo's last 4 fights. I've interviewed him a good few times, and he's not much bigger than me, and I know how big cruiserweights are, and I would like to step in the ring with one of you. That's for sure. So to me, I think he's nuts, but listen, all power to him. He's got the skill set to do it. So what are your thoughts on him stepping into your division?
Do you know, it's great. Like I said before, it's sorry, mate. I'm just going to put my phone in. It's great for cruiserweight boxing, but he's in my opinion, he's pound for pound number one. He's an exciting boxer, but I think Makabu is probably on the smaller end of cruiserweights when it comes to height, so he'll probably not have much of an advantage there. He'll obviously have the weight behind him, but Canelo's got that speed, so he's got to make it a good fight. It'll be good.
Can Canelo beat Makabu?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. It'll be tough. It'll be tough ass. But with the speed he's got, this cat's fucking photobombing me. But yeah, I think so. I think so. You know, he's special, isn't he, Canelo? He's something special, and I think, you know, I think he can get the job done. But who knows?
You think he'll stick around at cruiserweight? He won that world title at light heavyweight, but didn't stick around. But do you think he'll stick around at the cruiserweight division if all goes well against Makabu?
I don't know. Obviously, he's gone for the main title there, the WBC. You know, maybe he just wants that one belt. But who knows? Again, you've got Breedis. You know, he might fancy his chances there. Another probably not the tallest of cruiserweights. You know, you might fancy that fight, but we'll see what happens.
I think the likes of yourself and Lawrence Okolie maybe is too tall for him. And Richard, guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure on his what height is he, Canelo?
5'8". I'm 5'8", 5'9", and he's probably just my height. So he's probably my build. I don't know if you've seen any of my photos, but I ain't the biggest. Canelo ain't the biggest either. So it's very surprising.
It's a big difference in it. It's a big difference when you start getting to like 6 foot 4s, 5, 6s, and that. It's a big difference, but you know, who knows? You know, David A went against Valuev, and
there you go.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Wait, Jack, here's a question for you then. If he does stick around and the opportunity and the big payday comes your way, you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million for the fight, how do you beat Canelo? How do you beat Canelo, mate?
Do you know what? It's without showing any respect whatsoever. I think that's the way forward. You know, you've seen a lot of lads get in there and they're like rabbits in a headlight. I think they've shown too much respect because of who he is. But for me, probably go in there and try and be as horrible, nasty as possible and rough him up and, you know, try and land on him if I can catch him.
Yeah, if you can catch him, just punch anywhere, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, rough him up, grab hold of him, you know, try and tie him up. You know, it'll be struggle to get hold of him, but yeah.
Well, let's go back to your fight. I mean, you do have a very, very important fight. I mean, it's probably, again, like I said to you, bar the React-Por fight, it's for the biggest fight of your career in terms of headlining. It's for a world title. You're against a tough elite European opponent. So what can the fans expect from you on Friday night? What can they expect from Jack Massey?
I think he's got the makings of a great fight. You know, he's coming to win. I'm coming to win. We both want to be, you know, we both want that world title strap. And I think I'm going to drag him into the later rounds and possibly a stoppage in the later rounds. 100%.
Finally, what are I know we're having a laugh with Canelo and stuff like that, but for you, looking at the future, if all goes well on Friday as well, what are your hopes for 2022?
2022, collect some more belts, you know, possibly another world title. 1,000,000%.
Do you think, like I said, like these world titles and stuff like that, do you think we can have them all in Britain? Like I said, because we've got some great cruiserweights in this country. With yourself, React-Por, Lawal's coming through. He's doing his thing. He's still knocking people out and still winning and stuff like that. So the cruiserweight division right now is on fire domestically. And you think that with yourself and all these guys I mentioned, that you can rule the cruiserweight division in the future? I
think so, yeah. You know, you look at the likes of Breedis, Makabu, they get into that back end of the career. You know, they're getting on a bit. You know, like myself, you know, 28, young, fresh, and the other lads similar ages as well. So I think so, mate, definitely.
Good stuff. Well, listen, Jack.
I'll get all five of them.
Get all 5 of them. That's the Ring magazine. That's 6.
Yeah.
Get the Ring magazine as well. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck to you on Friday night, man. Hope all goes well. And like I said, 2022, I'm excited about the cruiserweight division domestically because all the names I mentioned off there, we've got some very, very talented fighters. So good luck Friday night. Hope all goes well, and hopefully I'll catch up with you soon. Maybe after the fight.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it having me on, mate. Thank you.
No worries, Jack. Good luck, mate. See you soon.
Cheers, mate. Bye.